like, share and subscribe and press the bell icon.
So in the previous video we have learnt about the osmotic pressure. We have also learnt about the various colligative properties and the solutions. So when we talk about these colligative properties or the solutions obviously it is made up of the solute plus the solvent. So if you imagine that if these solute particles, these can be compared with the molecules of the gas. Now, if these can be compared with the molecules of the gas, obviously they will also be obeying the same laws as which the gas molecules obey. That is various laws which we have already studied. That is the Boyle's law, Charles law. So if we can say that the osmotic pressure of a dilute solution or the osmotic pressure of a dilute solution is equal to the pressure which the solute molecules would exert if it were the particles of the gas at the same temperature and volume. So let us study these various laws, the gas laws which we have studied. Now these same laws are applicable to the dilute solution. So let us study these laws. So according to the first law, that is a Boyle's-Van 't Hoff law, that is osmotic pressure. If we represent osmotic pressure by pi, osmotic pressure is directly proportional to concentration, where pi is the osmotic pressure and C is the concentration, and temperature has been kept constant. So according to the first law, that is the osmotic pressure of a dilute solution is directly proportional to the concentration of the solution. Now if we represent, that is if concentration is expressed in moles per liter and V is the volume of 1 mole of a solute, therefore concentration is equals to 1 by V because it's moles per liter. So 1 by, that is moles per liter. So 1 and per liter, and where V is how much, the volume, so 1 by V. So therefore we substitute over here, that is pi is proportional to 1 by V. Now this equation, that is, or this relationship, that is pi is proportional to 1 by V, is it not same as the Boyle's gas law? Obviously it's same as the Boyle's law, that is Boyle's gas law, that is the pressure is inversely proportional to volume at a constant temperature. Next law, that is osmotic pressure is directly proportional to temperature when concentration is being kept constant. So osmotic pressure of a dilute solution is directly proportional to temperature when concentration is constant. This law, we call this as a Charles-Van 't Hoff law. Now this law is similar to the Charles gas law. Next law we have is the Avogadro's Van 't Hoff law, that is equal volumes of the solution contain equal number of moles or molecules of the solute provided osmotic pressure and temperature are same. So what does it mean? Suppose if you are having two solutions, so I am showing two solutions, 1 liter, both of the solution A and solution B, both of them are 1 liter. So if that is equal volumes of the gases, solutions contain equal number of molecules of solute. Suppose if this contain 10,000 molecules of the solute, so this solution will also be containing 10,000 molecules of the solute. So this is what law, that is the Avogadro's Van 't Hoff law, but its condition is what? Osmotic pressure, that is pi, and the temperature, absolute temperature, these should be constant. So that is equal volumes of the solutions contain equal number of moles or molecules of solute provided osmotic pressure and temperature are the same. So now let us come to this first law, that is pi is proportional, we wrote over here that is pi is proportional to 1 by V when temperature is constant. This we get from Boyle's Van 't Hoff law. Pi is also proportional, that is over here pi is what? Osmotic pressure. So osmotic pressure is also directly proportional to temperature when concentration is constant. This is according to the Charles Van 't Hoff law. So obviously when we combine this 1 and 2, what we get, that is osmotic pressure is proportional to T by V, this as well as this T by V. So if we are removing this proportionality sign, that is pi, that is osmotic pressure is equals to ST by V. So pi V, we bring this V on this side, so pi V is equals to ST, where S is a constant and this constant we call this as a solution constant. Now this, if that solution constant is equals to R. Now what is R? R is a gas constant. So if S is equals to R. Both are similar to each other. That is, if solution constant is equals to gas constant, that is R. Now why we are considering gas constant? Because we are assuming that the particles of solute or the molecules are solute. These will exhibit or will show the same behavior as those of the gas molecules, or they will obey the same laws as the gas laws. So we can write down this equation over here, that is pi v is equals to RT. Instead of S, we are writing down over here T, that is gas constant over here. Now this equation, we call this as Van't Hoff equation. Now this equation is similar to PV is equals to RT, and if there are n moles of solute present in V liters of the solution, so obviously pi V is equals to nRT. We also know that there is a relationship, that is PV is equals to nRT. So based on that, similar to that, we get another relationship, that if n moles of solute are present in V liters of the solution, that is pi V is equals to nRT, where n is the number of moles of the solute. Therefore pi is equals to n by V RT. So obviously if we consider R is a constant, and T is also a constant, so obviously pi, that is osmotic pressure, is proportional to N by V if temperature, that is been constant. Okay, now from this, so this we get a relationship for osmotic pressure, that is osmotic pressure is proportional to N by V, that is number of moles of the solute upon volume of the solution in liters when temperature is constant. Alright. So this is an equation for the osmotic pressure. Now from the equation for the osmotic pressure, we can also determine the relative molecular mass. At the same time, from here we also come to know that this osmotic pressure is proportional to N by V, that is number of moles of the solute. So it is dependent on the number of moles of the solute, but it is not dependent on the nature of the solute particles. So it is again, this equation is also showing us one more thing, that osmotic pressure is a colligative property, where it is dependent on the number of the solute particles, but is independent on the nature of the solute particles. Now let us see, let us find out, and from all these colligative properties, from all the equations of the colligative properties, what we are doing, we are finding out an equation or a relationship to determine the molecular mass of a solute. So here also we will do the same, that is, we'll find out the molecular mass of a solute, relative molecular mass of a solute, on the basis of the osmotic pressure. So let me first rub it off. So determination of relative molecular mass of solute on the basis of this property, that is on the basis of the osmotic pressure. So what we'll be doing, we take this equation back, that is over here whatever we have learned, that is pi v is equals to nRT. Now what is N? N is the number of moles of the solute. So N is the number of moles of the solute. How do we represent a number of moles? We can find out how, by weight of the solute upon molecular mass, that is W upon M dash, where W is what? Small w is what? Weight of mass of the solute, and M dash is what? Molecular mass of solute. So we'll substitute over here, that is pi v is equals to W by M dash nRT. Okay, so here we bring this M1 over here, that is M1 is equals to W pi v nRT. Okay, so here in this particular case, that is sorry, I made a mistake. We are getting the value of W by M1. So n's value we are getting. So n we are not writing down again, sorry, I made a mistake. So pi v is equals to w by m RT. Therefore m dash is equals to, we bring this m over here, that is w upon pi v RT. Okay, so from this equation, that is, or we can just write down over here, that is m dash is equals to w RT upon pi v. So from this equation we can find out the molecular mass of the solute. If we know this weight of the solute, the gas constant we already know, temperature and which is a constant, and the osmotic pressure and the volume of the solution. So in this way, for all these colligative properties, we have been finding out the equation for calculation of the molecular mass of the solute. So this equation is very important, that is m dash is equals to WRT by pi v. See that all these equations for calculation of the molecular mass of the solute on the basis of the colligative property, you learn these equations very carefully, very thoroughly. Now, based on the concentration of the solution, the solutions are divided into three types. Now, based on the so we'll just see what are those three types of solutions based on the concentration. So first of all, the first type of solution, that is, so these are based on what? Based on concentration. Based on concentration. The solutions are divided into are of three types. So first we are having the isotonic solution. Isotonic solutions. So suppose if you are having two solutions, suppose if you are having into this beaker, you are having two solutions and has been separated by a semi-permeable membrane, solution 1 and solution 2. So here, if this the solutions have been separated by a perfect semi-permeable membrane, and we'll find that the solvent particles, they are supposed to move through the semi-permeable membrane, but if we find that the solvent particles do not move across this semi-permeable membrane, no exchange of the solvent particles takes place into this beaker over here, then we find that such type of solutions, they are said to be the isotonic solutions. So that means what? There is no net flow of solvent on either side, no net flow of solvent on either side. At the same time, the osmotic pressure is same. Why there is no net flow of the solvent? Because the osmotic pressure, it is the osmotic pressure which makes the solvent to move from one side to the other side when they have been separated by the semi-permeable membrane. So if we say that when the osmotic pressure is same, there is no net flow of the solvent, and such a type of the solution we also call as isoosmotic solution. Isoosmotic solution, where there is no net flow of the solvent molecules when they are in, that means the concentration is same on both the sides. If the concentration is same, obviously they are exerting the same osmotic pressure, and they are also called as the isoosmotic solution. Now let us represent that solution 1. In solution 1, there are N1 moles of the solute present in V1 liters, of solvent, and temperature will be T. Let's consider solution 2, and this will be N2 moles of solute present in V2 liters of solvent, and both of them will be maintained at the same temperature, that is constant temperature. So temperature is T. Temperature is equals to T. Let us represent the temperature by T. Now if they are isotonic solutions, what will happen? They will be having the same osmotic pressure. If isotonic, osmotic pressure will be same. if they are isotonic solution, osmotic pressure is going to be same. So if osmotic pressure, let's pi be the osmotic pressure, let pi be the osmotic pressure. So what can we write over here? That is pi V1 is equals to N1 RT. Let this be our equation 1. Similarly, pi V2 is equals to N2 RT. Now look here, pi is constant, that is osmotic pressure is constant, R is a gas constant, T is a temperature, these are all the constant. So we can write down this, that is, if we divide it, that is V1 by V2 is equals to N1 by N2, or we can also write down this N1 by V1 is equals to N2 by V2. If you just interchange it, so there is this parameter, that is N by V. N by V is what? This represents what? Molar concentration. Molar concentration. Why molar concentration? N is what? Number of moles of a solute present in V liters of the solvent. So obviously it is, or V liters of the solution. So obviously this is representing the molar concentration. So we can say isotonic solution possess, if the two solutions are isotonic. If the two solutions are isotonic. If two solutions are isotonic, it means what? It implies that their molar concentration will be same. Their molar concentration will be same if the two solutions are isotonic. I hope this is clear to you, because these words are alphabets are a bit lighter. I'll just repeat it once again for you people. Just look here, these are a bit lighter. Let me just read it out for you once again. That's isotonic solution. In case of isotonic solution, there will be no net flow of solvent. That means that these two solutions, they have been separated by a semi-permeable membrane into this container. Solvent molecules are not going to move on either side of the semi-permeable membrane. Why it will not move? Because the osmotic pressure is same. Why it is same? Because the concentration is same. We can say that way. So it's a such type of solution. We call this as a isoosmotic solution. So let us see that the concentration is same. Let us prove this. I am saying it in the beginning, but this can be proved. That is, if we are having two solutions, solution 1 and solution 2. In solution 1, there are N1 moles of the solute present in V liters of the solvent. In solution 2, there are N2 moles of the solute in V2 liters of the solvent, and the temperature has been maintained same. That is, temperature is constant. And if it is an isotonic solution, then the osmotic pressure will be same. It will be equal. So if pi is the osmotic pressure, so we get it, that is equation for the osmotic pressure, that is pi V1 is equals to N1 RT. Let this be equation 1, and pi 2 is equals to pi V2 is equals to N2 RT. This is equation 2. So therefore, if we divide equation 1 by 2, dividing 1 and 2, dividing 1 and 2. So what do we get? V1 by V2, sorry, this will be V2. V1 by V2 is equals to N1 by N2, or N1 by V1 is equals to N2 by V2. So this parameter, that is N by V, that is number of moles of the solute present in the V liters of the solution. So this parameter is representing what? Molar concentration. So if two solutions are isotonic, their molar concentration will be same, or we can say if the molar concentration, that is the number of moles, will be same. If the number of moles will be same, obviously the concentration of the solution will be same. Now suppose if you are having the solutions, so okay, let me first rub it off. If there is a solution with a higher osmotic pressure, so we are having next type of solution, that is hypertonic. If you are comparing two solutions, solution 1 and solution 2. So if the osmotic pressure, that is if the solution is having, suppose this is having a higher osmotic pressure, so the solution with a higher osmotic pressure, such a solution with a higher osmotic pressure, obviously the concentration will be more. This solution, we call this as a solution with higher osmotic pressure, with higher osmotic pressure. This solution we called as a hypertonic solution. So this solution will be having the higher concentration. Higher concentration if we are comparing with another solution. Suppose two solutions are there. This is having the higher osmotic pressure. This is having the lower osmotic pressure. Lower osmotic pressure. So if it is having the lower osmotic pressure, obviously the concentration will be less. Concentration will be low. So this type of solution which is having the lower osmotic pressure as compared to solution 1, this is called as hypotonic. Hypotonic solution. Hypotonic solution. Okay, so we can say solution with lower osmotic pressure. Solution with lower osmotic pressure. So obviously this will be having a low concentration. Low concentration. Such type of solution we call this as a hypotonic solution. Okay, as compared to this solution, the concentration will be less. So we stop over here. We'll proceed further. Thank you.